Hi and welcome. So it's that time again. It's time for the BarZ Bash coming up in a couple days. And as a result, this video will be a little shorter than most of mine. But I have a few cool items to share, so I look forward to doing that. The BarZ Bash is held over Stan Zinkowski. His YouTube channel is Shade on HKW. Check it out. He does live streams of the bash. You want to see what it's like, but it's full of YouTubers, often 20, 30, 40 different people that have YouTube channels get together along with, another 150 or so people in the public at Stan Zinkowski's house out in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Adam Booth over at A-Bomb 79 has been there many years. I don't think he's going to be here this year, but Keith Fenner, Tom Lipton, just the list goes on and on. So it's a good time and well worth showing up. Pete 222 Tubal Kane was there, and I met him last year. What a fantastic individual he is. He was really fun to talk to. He was a shop teacher in school, and he had all kinds of stories. He was just a lot of fun to meet him there. That was really cool. So it's always fun, but let's get on to the things I have to share for this time around. First up, I got some stickers from Billy Huddleston at Knox Machining from Tennessee. And his YouTube channel is Knox Machining, I guess I already said. And he sent me some really cool stickers. Check out his channel. I guess apparently also has a website, which I haven't been to, but I have checked out his channel. So check him out, and I'll add these to my board. Next up is the standard granite surface plate I got here. It's actually really, really tiny. It's like 1.5 inches by 2.5 or 3 inches kind of thing, but it is made flat like all the normal surface plates of standard granite. I bought this from Tom Lipton. He had a bunch of them made a few years ago, and one of the things I was going to use this for is you want to use an indicator like this on the mag chuck of your surface grinder, and it's a pain in the butt because it's always, if you want to leave the magnet energized, you can't move this once you put it on. So what you do is you build a plate for this on this side. You build an epoxy plate on there, and then take this arm off and mount it onto this guy, and then you can slide this around your magnetic chuck while the magnet is fully engaged, and you've got an indicator for your surface grinder. So I'm going to do that project coming up soon. That's a quickie. I don't know if I'll shoot that on video, but it's a cool little part. I don't know if Tom has those anymore, but you could always check him out over at Ox Tools and see if he does. Maybe he has some left to sell. I don't know. Next up, I got this box from Tom over at Hilltop Machine Works. He's got a great YouTube channel. Check it out. He just built a new shop, and if you want to see a shop go up from the ground up, you can follow it step by step. It's an amazing shop. You should definitely check out his channel. I really enjoy his videos, and we're sort of kindred spirits because we both like going to, picking up used equipment. I go most on eBay, but I think he's got access to some local like antique sales and things like that, or swap meets where he gets some of his stuff. I'm not entirely sure. I'm mostly eBay because that's all I have access to, or at least that I know of. But he sent me this package, which was totally cool and unexpected. He sent a letter saying that since I like electronics, he figured he'd make a donation to my cause, which is really generous of him. That is really cool. And I haven't opened this yet because I wanted to be as surprised as you are. So let's check out what he sent. Oh, wow. He sent some really cool old meters. Wow, look at that old guy. Splitdorf. 1915 patent on it? Wow. That's a really old meter. An amp meter. Measures 30 amps plus or minus. That's cool. And a Simpson amp meter. And this one is 50 amps. Wow. Simpson, if anyone was in electronics, you would remember the Simpson analog meters. They're still high quality meter even now when everything's gone digital. It's still sometimes nice to have an analog meter because they put more current through what you're measuring. And Simpson was pretty much the top of the heap. Wow, a bunch more meters. Wonder where he picked all these up. 500 volts. Yikes. That's impressive. So he sent me his meter collection. Weston amp meter plus or minus 30 amps. Look at that. These are ancient. Oh, so cool. Oh, and this is one of these runtime meters. I didn't know you could reset them. Maybe this one's never been run, but you put a voltage on here and it cycles, you know, in minutes. I guess this one's in minutes. It depends on how they're calibrated. 120 volt 60 cycle. Each one of these minutes will be a minute, and you can see how long something's been on for. That's kind of cool. Most of them are, well, all of them are digital these days. Here's another voltmeter. Wow, look at that ant thing. It's all Bakelite. That's cool. This is kind of in the style of a Simpson multimeter right here, although it's Weston. It's got high and low voltage, so 150 volt scale, 600 volt scale, and a common. So they have different resistors in there for the different voltages. That's cool. And look at this. Holy cow, another ammeter. 300 amps. Wow. 50 millivolts. So this must be 50 millivolts full scale deflection. Yeah, that's what it says. So you have to have an external shunt on this. So you've got to choose a piece of material that will have 50 millivolts of drop across it at 300 amps, and you could calculate what that resistance needs to be and then put this across that part, and then you could measure the current accurately. It's pretty straightforward. And this little box with another ammeter in it. Simpson again. Wow. Very cool. In a project box. Really cool gifts. Well, that was really nice of Tom. He went and all that effort to send that out to me. I really appreciate it. And again, his channel is the Hilltop Machine Works, and check out his channel. And Tom, thank you very much. These are really cool items, and I really appreciate them. Maybe I'll be able to find an application here in the garage for them. Next up is a variation on a theme. So you've probably seen an annular cutter before. If you haven't, definitely check them out. They cut amazingly tight holes, and they don't remove all the material in the middle, which can be really handy when you're trying to drill a really big hole, because normally you can't use like a, what is this, like 2-inch, I think? Can't use a 2-inch drill bit in a mill, like a Bridgeport mill, very easily, because there's just a ton of torque on the mill. So if you're trying to cut all the material at one time, it's going to struggle. So these guys just cut the periphery and they make a really clean cut. So you've seen annular cutters before. What I didn't know, and I discovered recently, was that they also make little tiny ones designed for sheet metal. And so I got this set because I have a project coming up where I have to cut a bunch of holes in sheet metal. And anyone who's ever cut sheet metal with a regular drill bit before knows that it turns up a really nasty burr. So hopefully these will solve that problem. And nice clean holes. They go up a little bit bigger than this. This set goes to 3/4 from 5/16. There's another set that goes up to something over 1.5 inches or something like that with a different mandrel. They have a center locating pin, which is kind of cool. And this is a Hugin set. It's actually the real deal. It wasn't too bad. It was just a little bit over $100. So I'm adding this to my collection to help out on a project coming up. That's usually what inspires me to get a tool, although not always. Sometimes I get a tool just because I love tools. Next up is a tool from MSC that I purchased. I had to buy an order from MSC anyways, and I was at such a small amount that the shipping was going to be the same cost as the actual item itself. So I decided to add on to the order, and I've been looking for one of these for a while. Comes with instructions for Bridgeport, which doesn't really apply to my milling machine, but this is a Quill fine adjust nut that has a quick adjust built into it. So you push this in and it disengages the thread, and you can slide it up really quickly and let the threads go and engage, and it's a fine adjust. Because right now I almost never use the stop because it's such a pain to adjust at 20 threads per inch. It's kind of an interesting design. Just got a spring and a cutout and a push button knob. So it's a cool design. However, it is going to require me to take apart the whole front part of my mill, it looks like. So I will shoot that as a separate video because it might help someone else who needs to take that apart. Like I said, the instructions for a typical installation doesn't really apply for mine exactly. Like, I don't have that set screw in mine. I've got the little lever for the stop that has to come out in order for me to drop the shaft down. I have to remove the piece out, the little dumbbell piece out of there. Plus, I've got the Mitutoyo DRO on the Quill, and that's going to have to come out to put this in. So that'll be a project coming up. Next up, you might have seen me use the Tailstock DRO, and it's been a great addition. The only problem I have with it is that it is speed sensitive. So if you're spinning this hand wheel too quickly, the DRO doesn't keep up with it. So that was the problem buying an inexpensive DRO linear scale like this. And at the time, I couldn't find a good made one, you know, a well-made one that's like this. But I ran across a new one lately from Mitutoyo, and I picked it up so I can upgrade this because the Mitutoyo will not have the same problem, I'm almost certain. So here's the Mitutoyo version, and it uses the same batteries as other Mitutoyos. It's the same length. I'm hoping the mounting on the back will be the same, and I'm hoping the width of this is the same, because if it's not, it's going to be a little more challenging to install, but this will upgrade that. I use that all the time. That the DRO on the tailstock, when I want to do a drill depth, control my drill depth, it is fantastic to have. So this will be a nice addition as an upgrade to the other one if it fits. Next up are a couple items I found on eBay. Just had a general search going, and I'm always looking for ways to clamp things flat to the mill table, and these Tico clamps will do the trick. They're a really interesting design. So they have an adjustable Allen screw there. This is the non-low profile version, and so this thing, as you tighten it, it goes out and down at the same time. It's on a 45-degree angle, and so you can push into the part while this is mounted flat to the base. And they've got a soft jaw add-on, which is kind of nice that they included that, because this is hardened and serrated. I believe they make these out of 1018 steel. And then another pair of them here, which I hadn't opened yet, saving it for this. These are longer ones so that you can be farther away, and I think these are the low profile grabbing. Oh, no, they're not. I thought these were the low profile grabbing ones. They make some where the jaw part is only about 1/4 of an inch thick. And I suppose I could mill these if I needed to, but these are just longer reach versions of the same thing. I did not think I was getting that. The problem is the Tico site makes it pretty hard to figure out which model you're getting when you're getting one, because these are made for 1/2 inch, but it was really hard to verify that before I purchased, so that was kind of annoying. They could definitely improve their website. They're not the only manufacturer that has that problem. But these are nice because you can put a 1/2 inch bolt to your T-slot and hold something flat in there. With the low profile ones, you go up to like 1/2 inch plate, be under the plate and machine the whole top of it at one time. These, you'd have to be careful with the edges, but still a nice addition. Next up is an interesting variation on a tool. This is not the variation. So this is the common protractor, and there is another variation on this type of protractor where this one has a vernier scale so you can get down to the minute, and some of the better ones have a little magnifying glass over that for people with hard, you know, with failing eyesight like myself. They can easily see what's going on. This one's in very smooth and good shape. This is the one I had already. Now I want to show you the one I found. So this particular version is even better than the Mitutoyo version that has the magnifying glass. This is the next step up. This is a Brown & Sharp made by Tessa. Well, Tessa and Brown & Sharp are the same company now. And this version actually has a dial, like a dial indicator, measures 5-minute increments on the dial, and you can even probably get half that without any problem by splitting the divisions on there. So that's a very cool version, and it's brand new. This is still a current tool sold by Tessa. It sells for $800. I got this for $100. There is one version that is a step up from this, and that version is a digital one, and that one sells for something like $1,500. But I'm very happy that this was an amazing deal. It's brand new. The foam was deteriorated in there, so I just rubbed it all out. It disintegrated in my hands, and anyways, it was a great find. So that means I have a regular protractor that I can find a home for, and if someone knows a home, they could let me know. Last but not least is this collet puller assembly, a brand new design for a different lathe, collet puller. So I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try and make it fit my lathe. Like this is, I think, MT5, and my lathe is MT6, or maybe it's MT4. My lathe is MT6 in the headstock, so this 5C collet piece will not fit in there. Let's see. Here is the one that fits my lathe. I already had one, and so I will use this one. It's still in really good shape. the rest of this, I think the tube is going to be a little bit short, but this is made by MSC, and I think I can get another tube from them. I think it's a part number where you can just order it in different lengths. So it's threaded on both sides. So I could get a longer one, cut it off, and then thread the one side and put it on. Then this side fits in the side where I have my spider currently, and I think this will fit. I'm hoping it will. This was a long shot. I only paid like $100 and something for this. So if it doesn't work, I'm not out a huge amount of money, but I'm hoping I'll be able to adapt it to fit my lathe. And that's pretty much it. Again, I'm heading out to the BarZ bash, so it's been a busy week. I had to get a lot done at work, so I didn't have much time to do in the shop to work on a project. But I'll be back soon with that. And if you haven't gone before, you should check it out. If you can't go because obviously you don't live in Southern California and flying is too difficult, definitely understand that. You can watch the live streams. There'll be live streams all day long of the various events at the BarZ Bash, so you can check those out. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and hope to see you next time.